Hello everybody and welcome back to the Son of the Morning Comics channel. You can see the setup's a little bit different today because I have a feeling I may get a little bit animated. We're looking at here Superman Heroes #1 and Superman Villains #1. Did a review of Superman Heroes #1 before I decided to keep an optimistic tone. Even though it was a very strange book and nothing really happens, and there's different artwork that was kind of distracting, and but I wanted to see where it was going because, you know, revealing himself to the Justice League and his allies isn't gonna do a whole lot. Once these guys over here find out, not such a good scenario for good old Kal-El. So, like I said, I'm gonna have to be a little bit animated here. Gonna do my best to, you know, keep things nice and calm, but in order to do that, we're gonna need some help. So, first things first, we're gonna take a couple of these gummy things here. 50 milligrams per, it says. I don't know what that 50 milligrams is, but hopefully it does something. So, 100 milligrams, I suppose. And, you know, I may have mentioned this in a previous video. I'm allergic to alcohol, but I love beer. So, I'm gonna be having a Partake Pale Ale brewed right here in Canada. This is not a plug. This is not an advertisement. It's just a shout out. So, get that going here as well. Get the old Star Wars glass out, because at least that'll make me feel better a little bit when we're going through this nonsense. Can you tell that I'm not pleased with Superman Villains #1? You know, I'm placing the blame here specifically on Brian Michael Bendis and Matt Fraction, the main Superman writers. So, oh, we got some head there, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit. But, you know, like I said, I was intrigued. Superman taking off his glasses, revealing himself to everyone. There was a couple funny little scenes in there that I liked. Mostly when Dr. Fate's comment about Superman revealing himself, I found that to be a little bit funny. He wanted him to meet him in his tower at midnight. So I thought that was pretty funny. But what I didn't appreciate here, I suppose, would be the lie that they put on the bottom of this book, of the Heroes book, where they say, the future of the DC Universe begins here. Yeah, bullshit. Don't believe it. Don't believe it at all. So, I'm gonna take a sip of my fake beer here. Actually tastes really good. That's why I get it. And we got other party favors here, so before we get started, let's just fucking do it. Ah, boy. Oh, Bendis. Oh, Fraction. Why do you do the things you do? All right. I apologize. But like I said, it's a party. We're celebrating the death of Superman here. Possibly the death of DC Comics, possibly the death of comics in general. to comics. Maybe we'll have one more hit here. What are we talking about? Who are we kidding? Okay. Alright. Well, still got some of that bull left. Still got a marijuana cigarette rolled, and then, of course, hey, I'm in Canada. It's legal. I can have it if I want. So, we've had some edibles. We've had edibles. We've had some edibles. We've had some fake beer. We've got some THC coursing through our veins. I'm just going to get this guy out of the way here because we're really not dealing with that. We're dealing with Superman villains. Number 1, the truth will be his doom, as opposed to the truth will set him free. It certainly can't be both now, can it? But, you know, we'll get into this book. And it, DC proudly presents Superman villains with way too many writers, way too many artists, way too many colorists, way too many letterers. Perhaps not enough editors. But, hey, it is what it is. So, we start the story here with Superman going to visit his parents at their farm. You know, they're talking about how he's, going to think life's gonna be different. By the way, I'm not gonna be doing like a frame-by-frame review here. I'm just gonna be pointing out some of the stupidity. But that's okay. Alright. So Superman goes to his parents' place. They're happy for him. They're pleased that he has come out of the closet, so to speak. You know what I mean. I don't mean anything derogatory by that. So Superman, here we have this very specific art style. Not a style I'm particularly fond of, but then we flip the page and we're in a completely different style, which to me kind of takes me right out of it. In this scene here, Clark and Lois are dealing with the new owner of the Daily Planet, who's some sort of gangster. Like I said, the story here was not very good, that I didn't really care too much to pay all that much attention. I also read this several days ago. What can you do, though? Anyway, so they're arguing about, like, what types of stories need to go on. And then, still the same scene over here, where they're just discussing how they're gonna go about this whole new Superman Clark Kent thing in terms of the Daily Bugle. An emergency happens here, as in there's a guy outside the window trying to be a menace, I suppose, at the Daily Planet. And now that Superman is no longer in hiding, he doesn't have to go run into a phone booth or around one of those rotary doors and come out with Superman. He can just pull his shirt apart and save the day. And so then next we move over here to Lex Luthor. Once again, a completely different art style, and it just throws me off. Something about it, just going from one art style to the next just doesn't work for me. And so here Lex is just kind of annoyed by all of the messages that he has to take. He's a big important man, I suppose. Here he's getting a little bit upset. He's angry he has to deal with these messages. And I like how he's just as mean to his underlings as he is in every other sort of thing you've ever seen, especially in the movies, that sort of stuff. So he's angry. What can you say? And then, oh look, we've got another art style altogether. Not exactly fond of the change here. You know, Superman is fighting the Toyman, you know, quite the villain. And of course the Toyman has this dude inside him controlling the toys. So Superman does his thing. And, like I said, I'm not getting too much into this nonsense. And, you know, he breaks into the Toyman's armor and, you know, deals with that. And with that, we'll take another hit. Maybe two. Needed to get through this. With this nonsense, with this assassination of Superman that they've been doing here. Next, flip around here. So, you know, the Toyman's in there with all of his different stuff, blah, blah, blah. None of this stuff is important. The Toyman surrenders. Now he's in jail. Nothing exciting happening here. Of course, he does end up with a proposition. And this guy here belongs to the terrorist group known as Leviathan, and he's come to make a deal with Toyman to get him out of prison type thing. And he does. He frees him. And then we move along to yet another art style. It's just, I don't even know what to say. Like, when I'm not really explaining what is going on in this story, because nothing happens in this story. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is the $5.99 and $5.99. Nothing's happening. So you can understand why I'm getting a little bit animated. This is the most animated you're probably ever going to see me in a video. Although you can't see me, you can just hear me. But whatever the case may be. So, you know, I'll read you this page just so, because maybe there's something happening here. So, Perry White says, if I publish that the Daily Planet is going to be worthless. And basically what they're talking about is publishing all of the misdeeds of the mobster lady who now owns the Daily Planet. Lois Lane's response is, if you don't publish it, the Daily Star will, and the Daily Planet will then be more than worthless. And then we get the response here. You know how she got me. Leon waltzed in here, bumped up at my budget, and gave me a raise. Even though no new media owner has ever done that ever in the history of anything, I sat in my office in hubris, and I told myself I deserve this. After all we've been through, wow, is free money too much to ask for? And then Superman comments, what's it like? And then it's just there's a conversation about all of the money that Perry White is now making, and how in all of the time that Clark has worked at the Daily Planet, he's never even gotten a raise. I mean, like, It's 2020. I mean, he's been working there since 1938, damn it. Give the guy a raise. The inflation must be crazy over that period of time. But nevertheless, it's just mindless babble. They're just talking about how they're gonna expose this lady. So then we flip the page and then we get yet another style of art that just takes you right out of it. When I see that, that's when we grab the pipe. Okay, so I feel a little bit better after that. And this guy, Steve Lombard, is angry. I'm not even sure why, because this book doesn't make any sense. And then, well, here, this looks cool. This is something to look forward to. This is probably the best part of the book. Just kidding. And then we flip the page, and now we have a completely different art style yet again, except this time I can honestly say I like this art style. So I'm not going to have as big a problem with that as I am with some of the other stuff we've dealt with so far. And so at least now we're on Warworld, which is of course the home of Lord Sovereign Supreme Mongol. So, you know, what are we, more than halfway into the book, and we have finally seen a Superman villain. How about that? Isn't that something? So he can see that he's reading the news. He knows that Superman is Clark Kent, and so he wants to do something about it. And so then he kills his minion, his buddy there. He explains something along the lines of, this is how it works in their culture, that his grandfather killed his great-grandfather, and his father killed his grandfather, and he killed his father, and just like one day his son will kill him to take the throne of Warworld. Just not really having much to do with Superman, though. But he does decide he's gonna go and chase after Superman, and he says that he declares himself Mongol whatever, that's too many letters for me to say, Lord Sovereign Supreme of Warworld, and I am very much looking forward to encountering you, Superman. What problem would he have had encountering Superman before he knew he was Clark Kent? Where does this make any sense? I don't understand, but hey, it is what it is. And this is actually the first time in either of the two comics where you actually see Superman say, "My name is Clark Kent." How about that? It took one entire book and 3/4 of another to do that, for him to actually say that outright. And then, of course, the patrons in the bar here, oh, wow, ooh, wow, amazing. And, you know, it's just not the greatest thing in the world. And we'll flip the page here. We've got, you know, some more problems here for Soup, because apparently he has angered Supergirl. Why, how dare he? After every warning he ever gave me about keeping my identity secret, he just tells them. And she gets even more upset, and he does it now. Would he have even told me if everyone else know that was gonna happen? Is this the thanks I get for saving him from Batman, the Batman who laughs, taking the attack meant for him? And then she screams. So Supergirl is not pleased with this, but is Supergirl a Superman villain? Is she one of the guys on the cover there? Is she Lex Luthor? Is she the Joker? Is she Sinestro? Is she Grodd? Is she Deathstroke? Is she any of these people? No. So far, we've only seen the Mongol. And that just makes me take another hoot. Alright. Well, that bull's cashed. At least we got this one on the ready if we still need it. Gonna take another sip of beer here. Grab a smoke. This is what this book is doing to me. Ugh. I'm just joking, of course, but, like, come on now. It's a little ridiculous. So, Supergirl is upset. She's not happy about things. And she, of course, wants to know why Superman wouldn't tell her this stuff. But she didn't. He didn't, I should say. And, you know, she just is angry, and it's just a little ridiculous. She goes and she flies to Smallville. I guess she is going to see what happens there. But, you know, sorry about that. Power got low there for a second. I had to go plug in the phone here, so that's gonna affect the video. Not that this is exactly the best quality video anyone's ever done. It more reflects how I'm feeling about this book. Now, like I was saying, she goes to Smallville, and then to see what happens with Supergirl, you can go and buy Supergirl 37. Okay, so this book's an advertisement. Awesome, that's really what I wanted to see. So we'll flip the page again here, and we have yet another style here, yet another style of art. This one I thoroughly dislike. But hey, what can you do? Yeah, I don't get to make those decisions. I just read the books and give ridiculous reviews, as you can probably see. And then now flip here again. We've got back to the Daily Planet style. Lois is telling the Mafia Daily Planet owner lady that she's basically running a special report that is going to expose her for the true menace that she actually is. That's a good way to lose your job if you're Lois Lane, probably. But hey, doesn't matter. It's the comic world. She could lose her job, and then the next day she could have her job back, just like she could die and then tomorrow be alive. That's why I titled this video the Debauchery Review. Woo! Yeah. Gonna win an Oscar for this one. And so that's basically the story. Now this is what really made me angry. Nothing happens in this story. Nothing happens at all in this story. But then they tell you, if you would like to know how this continues, the story is to be continued in both Superman and in Action Comics. How very Marvel of you, DC. Yeah. this doesn't make me want to buy any of those books. Both of these kind of sucked. The first one was interesting because it left you wanting to know what happened. This one tells you, oh, nothing has still happened, but guess what? You gotta buy more books to find out what's gonna happen next. And like I said, this is very much a Marvel Comics sort of thing to do. You know, it's like, oh, you just bought all of the Powers of X and House of X, so now why don't you go ahead and buy 8 different X-Men titles and that sort of thing. Like, this reminds me of that. That kind of made me angry with Marvel, and this makes me extra angry with Superman. However, the thing that makes me the most angry about this book here is from the cover and from the tag on the cover, you would think that the truth will be Superman's doom. We have Lex Luthor removing his glasses so he can see that he's Superman. Lex Luthor was actually in this book. How many of these other guys were in this book? Did you see the Joker? Did you see the Cheetah? Did you see Black Adam? Did you see Sinestro? Did you see Deathstroke? Did you see Reverse Flash? Did you see Grodd? Did you see any of these people? Any of these villains? And the answer to that question is a resounding 100% no, you didn't. So, definitely don't go pick this up. You know, $12 for 2 worthless comics that are basically advertisements for you to get you to buy Supergirl, Superman, and Action Comics. Good job, Bendis. Good job, Fraction. You guys have outdone yourselves this time. Yeah. Darth Vader does not approve of this. I can tell you that right now. He would be very angry. If Darth Vader was a Superman villain and he found out that he was Clark Kent, oh, he'd be using the Force on him instantly. At any rate, I think this video has been had enough debauchery in it for one night. But, you know, sometimes the video's gotta be a little salty, what can I say? So, thank you for joining me here on the Son of the Morning Comics channel. I hope you enjoyed this ridiculous video. It's probably gonna be one of the only videos that's like this, that has this kind of length and this type of complaining going on, but I'm sorry, this is bullshit. It's bullshit. Anyway, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you can find out when new videos come out. Also, if you want to visit me over on Twitter, the handle is @sonofthemorning7. And as well, if you want to leave comments in this section, by all means go ahead. Be nice to each other. That's all I care about. Want to make fun of me? Make fun of me. I'm fine with it. Just whatever you do, don't buy this bullshit.